You're live.
All right, welcome everybody to the, what is this, January 27th, 2026 regular council meeting of the town of the Paw. We have one of our councilors is sent his regrets, Councilor Allen. With that, I'd just like to acknowledge again tonight that we're gathered on Treaty 5 territory. That's the traditional lands of our good friends and neighbors, the Opaskwayak Cree Nation, as well as many other people in the homeland of the Red River Métis people. So with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Somebody should have a resolution to adopt the agenda.
I have a couple of additions here before we move to secondary. The first addition would be a request from council to move from committee of the whole to 11.1. That would be the Devon Park. Move to rezone the area designated as Devon Park. Attached map is on the information we're sharing later for discussion. And basically the reason for that is we're on time constraints. If we don't get the first reading moved up, we're going to be waiting until the middle of first meeting in February. 40 days after that, it keeps rolling it down the street. It's going to be probably nearly 2.5 to 3 months before we get around to first and second reading. Second reading, then we can discuss that. All it is a premise on the table. Get first reading done. It'll get out in the community. There's notices that we can discuss. Everybody's fine with the amendment. That would be the first one.
Any concerns? No.
Second one is I'd like to have on the agenda information under, we can put it under 12.112, and that's just, I'd like to see the information, what the actual financial impact has been on those opposing the special service levy. We have a petition, and we keep hearing it's we've heard concerns in the community that people are retired, fixed incomes. We don't know if that's in fact the truth or not. Maybe it is in some cases. But I think for council, we're making the decision when it comes up to the public hearing that we're going to be having in March 4th. I think it would be prudent for council members to know what the actual financial impact is going to be on individual property owners. I think on the position it was 72. I think the second one, anyone any concerns with that?
This is just a discussion right now.
Yeah, all of this is just information sharing. And the third one would be, we've talked about it in the past. I know there's been some correspondence on it, the assessment and reassessment of town properties. We know in some areas, properties are way under assessed, and if they're under assessed, then the general population of bond ratepayers are actually losing money. We're losing money that the community. Property to be sold for 50% or 100% more than what the assessed value is. So I think in fairness, and that's what we're trying to be, as fair and transparent. Should be telling the assessment action, voting them to look into a reassessment of the community. That would be the third amendment.
Everybody okay with that?
So move by myself, second by Councillor Atkinson, to resolve that the agenda be adopted as amended.
Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. So what do we got tonight? 6-4-0 against, carried. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Resolution number 2026-010, moved by Councillor Manich, second by Councillor Commodore. Resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of January 12th, 2026, and the special budget meeting of January 19th, 2026, be hereby approved. All statutory declarations have been complied.
Any comments, concerns with the minutes? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Against? None? Carried. Hey, recognition. Anybody?
A couple, just a privilege of watching the 15 Huskies in Swan River this weekend. They lost one game 2-1 against Dauphin in the semifinals, which put them in second place. They played Dauphin in the finals and beat them 3-1. So they won the tournament. I understand the U13 girls. I'm not sure where they were. I saw it on
Springfield or something.
Spring Hill.
Yeah, Springfield.
They won as well. The Roadrunners, they were away. They cleaned up where they were just It seems every,
Roadrunners are in Winnipeg.
yeah, every, council meeting, we talk about, acknowledge, the youth are a community and they are so successful in all areas, whether it's basketball, volleyball, it's just, something that, we should all be very proud of. And I would hope that, I don't know if it's be possible or not, but somewhere along the line, a yearly day of recognition
Or volunteers. That's a great idea.
something, just for the youth of the community, they, second to none, and they just keep going every year. It's just another sports that they are doing very well at.
I think that's a great idea, and one thing I wanted to add too is that, so two of those teams, and I'm not completely understanding who's involved with the Roadrunners, but two of those teams, the U13 girls has Kelsey Paddock, who is one of our employees, and the U15 boys has, NAIL program has Jomar, again, one of our employees, so, you know, it's great to see that. I know we talked about the local RCMP, that, their commitment back to the community and volunteering, so, you know, we appreciate our staff for doing that too.
Sam's involved.
Yeah, Sam's involved with the basketball, and, yeah, you're absolutely right.
In addition to that, I've also heard that this is for the boys, U15, that this is their fourth tournament that they've won this year.
Yes.
So that's spectacular.
And they're hosting provincials in town, which is great for our community.
100%.
Anybody else have anything? Well, I've got a couple of things. First, I just, again, we talked just briefly about it, but I want to take my hat off to the staff again working this weekend. Super cold, dealing with the big water main break. I know, you know, our on-call guy is getting, his phone is absolutely blowing up, everybody in town calling him. So we did appreciate everybody's patience, and we do appreciate our staff for doing everything that they did this weekend and that they continue to do. The other thing I kind of wanted to pass on, I got a message today from Gwen Bartram. So our community safety officers attended the Golden Agers today for a little chat. And they presented and answered a lot of questions that the seniors had on the role of the community safety officers. So they were very happy, and they wanted us to pass on our gratitude and also pass on our thank you from council. Those are great ambassadors to our community. A couple other things, I had the honor last night to attend the ordination with Bola of our new Archbishop of Kuwait-Lepas, Most Reverend Sousa Jus. And it was quite an actual event. I was very honored to be there. It was very interesting to see all of the ceremony and especially to hear, you know, what he's actually done for communities in northern Manitoba and such. So it's great. And the last thing I would say is I also got to attend another one of the great things about being the mayor. I got to attend the honoring of May Blake, who was awarded the Governor General's Award for volunteerism, or I didn't bring my paper with me, but she's been a 50-year volunteer of veterans and people with disabilities through the Legion and through St. Paul's. And when you talk to her and listen to what she's done and how passionate she is about giving back to the community, it really shows that that's what community members are all about, and she might make sure and it sure strengthens our community overall. So thank you to May for all of the work that she's done over the last 50 years and continues to do. Anybody else have anything? Okay, so moving on, citizen period, there's nothing. No citizens here today, so moving down to annual emergency measures plan. 9311 or 931.
Resolution number 2026-011, moved by myself, signed by Councillor Hopper. Whereas in accordance with section 8(1)(d) of the Emergency Measures Act, three local authorities shall prepare and adopt emergency preparedness programs and emergency plans and submit them to the coordinator for approval and coordination with other emergency programs and emergency plans. Therefore, be resolved that council adopt The Town of the Paw Emergency Measures Plan as presented for 2026.
Comments?
I have a few. The template for the emergency plan is good. Most of it is, been built on over the years. Trick question for council members. On the fan out call procedures, anybody know who they're supposed to call? I didn't, till I read it. The call out list, it goes down council. If they call me and I answer, if I'm supposed to call the next counselor next to me, I think I'm supposed to call Trent, and it goes down. There's a lot of things in the plan, like the layout, how it works, that's all fine. But there's a lot of information there where there's people that are no longer in positions, or there's people named on there that have actually are deceased. And just little things, so I don't know how that has to be updated. I know we'll pass it tonight and adopt it, I'm sure. There should be some mechanism in there for, phoning the particular phone numbers and seeing who answers the phone. And actually there was one there, it was the WCB, like all the numbers in there, they had a person answering the phone, whether that person is in that position or not. But the only one that was for sure was going to work with Workers' Compensation Board says whoever answers, that's who they talk to. So that one is for sure, but there's other ones where people have retired and moved on, and it's just general little things that I think we could still ask this, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be set a goal, but it can be amended to just through administration, whether you have to phone all these numbers and just check and see if the numbers in fact still work, or if that person's actually. And I'm sure if any of us look through there, I just read it or went through most of it. I recognize it. I'm sure there's others that would recognize some people that maybe are in different positions.
I want to echo what Councillor Hopper said. In addition to that, again, I think what we should do is just pass it and then have a discussion, maybe put it on the agenda at the next meeting or whatever. Maybe a couple of concerns I had. One particular is having our CSO manager as the EMO person, only because in the event of emergency, he's busy managing his people. He also carries a role as an officer on the fire department. He's not the ideal person for that, only because he's going to have to manage people. He's more of a logistics than he would be. Traditionally, and I'm not throwing under the bus, but typically the CAO is the good person for that because they're the head anyway, and they would normally be delegating their duties. So just another opportunity to discuss on the agenda. Just to make sure Mike is utilized to the best of his ability with managing his people, because they would be left unmanaged in that event, and they become crucial in an emergency situation.
Any other comments? Okay, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, payrolls and accounts. I think that's sitting on that desk there.
Move by myself, second by Councillor Atkinson, resolve the council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 02 in the amount of $150,985.98. General checks number 33095 to 33136 in the amount of $282,272.23. EFTs in the amount of $331.124.18.
Any comments, questions regarding the check registry?
Couple of questions, one, because I don't see the invoices that are twin motors,
Trucks, 2 trucks.
2 trucks. Okay, ready construction,
Repair, put up the internet tower at the garage.
just one thing, that was material and labor.
Yeah, I think that's, I didn't look at all the details, but you want me to look?
Okay, good. That's all.
Anything else? Okay, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Committee reports. Got my little cheat sheet. Okay. Museum Board meeting tonight,
Meeting tonight at 7.
Chamber of Commerce.
No updates since the last meeting. The next meeting though is February 4th, which will be held at the UCN for 6 P.M.
CDC, we did have a meeting and we have one coming up. Let me just pull up my notes here. So sort of the things that are going on, that land development planning, so, that's the review with Colliers. That should be coming into council late March, early April, so that, for us to make some plans and sort of lines up good with our budget, just in case anything has to be changed. The other highlights, Devon Park rezoning, it's sitting here at our council desk tonight. As mentioned, there's lots of inquiries regarding hotels, taxi cabs, working on I know Jonathan and Bola have spent a lot of time on the immigration committee and the work around there, and that seems to be, maybe you want to share, Bola, some
Yeah,
exciting.
we do have a good news. We got the approval from the province and we really want to thank the Manitoba government for actually giving us this opportunity. The focus will be on the employer, whatever our employer will do. That is what we are going to be working on. We did identify some occupations that we have to work on based on the people that are here already. And we are the base for Swan River, Flame Flow, Snow Lake, for the coordinating this. And last week, they contacted us again that they will provide us to absorb the church in as well. So they are still working on that. And they might likely give us any administrative fees that might be involved with that. We've not said yes or no, but still on the deliberation stage. And after that, I think we are good to go.
Do we know
And
numbers behind that? Do we know numbers behind Churchill, what that could entail?
No, for the church here, they are very, very limited.
Okay.
There are some confidential immigration
Yeah.
information that are existing. So basically, they want us to be able to get our employers to be able to get them employee and working and stay in our community, not the people that will use the system and leave. So thank you to the Minister of Immigration for this opportunity.
Okay, well, thanks to all your work on that, Bola, it's important for the north. Destination marketing,
They had a meeting that wasn't able to attend, too close to the opening for the league that night. They explained to me that, it will be a short meeting. They didn't have too much to go over, no new applications, and, only request the minutes from the meeting anyway.
Cedar Lake,
I attended the Vision Quest ATM meeting that took place in Winnipeg. I don't know, I think that was a couple weeks ago. And, they're on track for having a full packed house again. They haven't made announcements yet as to who their keynote speakers are, but they're pretty spectacular and, it's great. That's it though. We don't meet again for another month for Cedar Lake.
recycling board, we had a meeting last week. We also, just as for everybody's information, our recycling board manager has tendered her retirement. So I do want to thank, Marge for all of her commitment and dedication, and we really truly wish her all the best in this, significant milestone in her life. The board will be meeting again on February 3rd to, build a transition plan. Just a couple of notes, so I should say, last year, for information, the recycling center actually recycled 395 metric tons of recycling, so diverting the waste stream. I don't have my numbers in front of me, so I will leave it at that, and if I find them, I'll come back to it. Library board, Counselor Allen's not here, KSD, nothing. Youth counselor, Brianna.
MBTI is gonna have its final exams for semester one wrapping up this week. And there's an admin day on Friday, so no school for students. And report cards come out on Monday and semester two begins. The senior varsity girls are heading off to Kamsat for a basketball tournament. And there's going to be another Skills Canada meeting next week to encourage any students that are willing to join. We also had a successful grad student meeting held by the student executives on January 20th.
Anything else from mayor or council? Anybody got anything else to add?
It doesn't fit into this section, but it doesn't fit in anywhere in this case, but we haven't seen managers' reports since the month of September.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have those again. It was nice to have that portion, but yeah, the last one we saw was for the month of September, so, and we're now the end of January.
It's coming next month, when I'm compiling it.
No, good point. I will add a couple of things in updates, so, we do have, CMHC has reached out to me, James Wigley, so they're doing an actual video to highlight partnerships, across, Manitoba, and it's really using it as an advocacy tool. They've asked if, I would say a few words around sort of the need, but also more about how the lack of remote addictions and mental health supports that are missing in our community, as many other communities, which we've talked about. So if council is okay, I will meet with them tomorrow at 7:30 and do that. If somebody else wants to do it, they're fine too. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, okay.
So I'll be meeting here at 7:30 tomorrow. I did meet with the Rotary today, just to give them an update, so. We had been talking about, it's budget time, and if there's something that we're gonna do as their big celebration project that, we'd like to plan for it ahead, and if council of the day has to put away a few dollars now to make a donation in a few years, then, that's easier than trying to ask for a big dollar value 3 or 4 years from now. I also should give them an update, on sort of all the great things that, the staff's already been doing with regards to our town hall. And I don't know if everybody remembers that waterfowl advisory committee, so I had a meeting today and I remembered to bring you guys some information, so I'm actually I was asked to join that advisory board by the government. And so for me, and I make it very clear, I'm not a hunter, I don't know anything about bird hunting, so I just bring the perspective of. And that's what they were looking for, but also we're hearing a lot of concerns, people talk to me about, the regulations changes that are impacting northern Manitoba. So I can share that type of information. We did have a meeting with them today, and I did again share the concerns that outfitters and cottage owners and the impact on tourism and stuff with regards to the 7 days only. And they've done some studies though. And the stats are not actually lining up with what people are telling us. So I don't have all the details of the stats, and I'll get that and share that with you guys. And also, it appears to be that the concerns are what they told me, and I'm only listening what they told, that are isolated to our area. So,
Easy to address rather than.
yeah, well, I mean, I'll say that I did say to them the same thing. It was a problem in 2022, still a problem today. And we have people with concerns, but we'll get some more details. So I just wanted to share that with you. I sat through that meeting
Good that
today.
they formed at least a working committee on.
Yeah, every chance I've had an opportunity at AMM to talk to the Minister of Natural Resources, and I do share that concerns with us with what we were told in the past. But it just reminded me today to, like I said, they asked us, they needed somebody to they didn't want a hunter, so, and I'm not a hunter. And they know that, because I tell them every time, Okay, so that's about it. On that, we have the interagency meeting this week as well. Under unfinished business, anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, outbursts? Seeing none, we'll move along. Correspondence, so I did, share with, Bola and Sam. I did receive correspondence from this business magazine, Brendan McElroy. So they're highlighting communities across Manitoba. They're trying to engage us. What I understand how it works is they're going to ask the staff for and staff would be involved in the interview. It's not just the mayor. But what they're ask the staff for is sort of the list of projects that are going on, where they're engaging, you know, suppliers and such. And so that I think that's how they generate their revenue. It's a no cost for us. And so we have a meeting set up for February 3rd. And I sent it to Bola and Sam, and so if everybody's okay with that, we'll go forward with that. Yeah, seems, I don't know, seems weird, but he was trying to get a hold of me since December, but I talked to him earlier, but our email filter, the one that takes care of all the spyware and adware, it actually had quarantined all his messages, so I was ignoring him until he called him. And then as Councillor Hopper had mentioned about assessment, so I did receive some communication yesterday or late last week that the assessment branch is coming to town early in Q1 to review our community. And as she's mentioned, Lori of Swan, is that if we have properties that we believe are under assessed, to share that information with her. And so maybe what we'll do when they come to town, maybe we could have an actual meeting with them to get a better understanding of the process and more for the next councils of. So when somebody sells a home, how does it get reassessed? Because that's what I think people don't understand is that when you buy a trailer for $70,000 and now you buy it for $180,000, your tax bill is based on $180,000. So it's not based on, it's based on what that market is now. So, you know, people I don't think understand that. And this is where I think there's a disconnect on the assessment branch overall. That really shouldn't happen, where I sell my home and I get $200,000 more for it than what it's assessed at. Any other questions with that? You okay, Councillor Forster?
Well, for the most part, I just find that, when you don't have houses for sale, you're forcing the price of them to go up. Even though it's not really worth that value. Because you want to buy a property doesn't necessarily mean the property is worth what you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
It's no different than the building that I just purchased for my business. I would either had to buy it for that price, even though the one next door to me sold 2 years before for $85,000. No bank would touch my building until I finally found one that finally would, because they wanted $300,000.
Yeah, so you gotta keep in mind that
Worth three.
yeah, you gotta keep in mind the market's the market, but when they look at it, they don't look at it in isolation as one sale. So you're right, like if there's somebody really wants something and really overpays for it, they do look at a comparative sort of properties. And there's all sorts of calculations that go in through it, but it's not simple as.
Yeah, I get that part, but also I've seen the assessment of a lot of trailers and talked to quite a few people that own trailers in town, and the value that is set on those trailers, I wouldn't pay half of that.
Yeah, I mean,
for one
again,
of those trailers.
and it's the market is the
The
market.
assessment is
Yeah.
very high.
Well, yeah, and again, the market is the market. If the, you know, if it's they're gonna evaluate the trailer based on the age of the trailer, the renovations that are done with it, whether they've got new siding on it, all that sort of good stuff. And that's what drives the value of it. They're not going to just look at it black and white. So I think there's more to, like, I'm maybe not even explaining it right, but there's more to it than just a single, you know, what we think it is.
Right,
I
and
don't know that York would be here when they come in and explain. all-
Yeah, for sure.
you're explaining it right, it's no different than having a book value for a vehicle, or if you wanna sell your vehicle privately, right? Like the book value could be $5,000, but it's like, oh, well, I wanna sell it for 8, so. When you meet with your realtor, you let them know what price you want to have it set at, and then they'll let you know whether or not that's even attainable, but, I know.
But it doesn't change the value,
It's just the market supply and demand.
How the
Yeah.
market and demand, right?
Yeah, the town of Paul has basically been a zero vacancy for how many years? If there's nothing available, you're gonna pay top dollar for what is, so.
Well, and keep in mind, though, that I believe, my personal belief, no, but what I know, the town of the Paw is very undervalued. And so what we wanna do is we actually wanna increase the overall value of everything, not just one, that's where the problem becomes. When you have a slope in value that's so steep, then that's where you find the discrepancy of what people pay. And so when you think about it, if I have a very similar home, that's same vintage, same age, same sort of upgrades in two different parts of town, same square footage more or less. Same streets, all that has $60,000-$70,000 in difference. There's an issue there. Now, is one too high or too low? That's up to the assessment branch to decide.
And it's whether or not all of them are up to date with their assessments as
Yeah.
well.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's good for us to have this discussion anyways. But I think, like I said, I do believe, you know, if you look at some of the recent sales that went on, I'm not sure that the value is correct.
And they're asking for the date. Yes.
The date of the meeting?
Yes,
Oh,
they have a range from May 18 to July 3rd.
May 18th, it sounds good to me.
It's fine. So May 18 to 3rd of July.
May 18th.
Yes, I wanted to bring it for the next council, but they brought it today and they want to know the answer.
Yeah, so let's do it May 18th. Let's do it
May
earlier than, yeah. We get it to
Just
July,
thinking that
we'll leave it to the next.
council meeting day or something like that.
No, we can have a separate meeting. I think this is an important enough topic that we should be meeting separately.
And we can start reassessing.
Okay, May 8. What time?
5 o'clock.
Cause I think our assessments come out in what?
5 o'clock we'll start with, we're a few months away. We have to make some small adjustments.
Thank you.
You said May.
Yeah.
Higher August, I think assessments.
We'll send out an invite. Okay, so
Isn't that May final?
anybody have any comments with the?
18th is May.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought.
We just have-
Whatever, yeah, I know. I was kind of thinking the same thing. So whatever the next day is, the 19th or whatever.
19 is Tuesday, oh, Victoria Day.
Anybody have any comments on the RCMP stats? So one thing I would like to say is, I do think we need a follow-up meeting with the RCMP on the costing and, how our invoicing works. Just to ensure that, there's good clarity here, from council on, how this is built. So we could have a separate, you know, if we comes to the beginning of the meeting, I don't believe there's any need for, these to be in camera, those discussions.
So how soon? How soon?
Whenever is ready, like, I mean, next meeting, we can.
I don't know how easy it is, but something that we had discussed when RCMP costs were, and we had so many vacancies, we had talked about the overtime cost in comparison to if those spots were filled with members. Want to know if that caused a big increase or if it was basically a wash. If that's an easy stat to have, that'd be nice to see as well. To know if we're paying in line with what we are, or was it more because of the fact that we had so much overtime with as many as 6 vacancies, right?
I don't know if you guys have you ever seen the invoice?
No.
I'll send you guys an invoice and then what we can do is, I'll see if I can get the last invoice. I think that they get sent to us. But it doesn't really highlight that as a cost. And I think it might be blended in. So, but
Staff sergeant might be able to pull it up. If it's a big hassle, then we won't worry about it, but if it was something that he could easily put together, that would be.
I'm not so concerned about overtime. I'm more concerned about the fact that, you know, I wanna make sure that. If there is, to me, if we're in a wildfire season. And I don't really understand how, well, anyways, we can talk more about it with this stuff. But I understand what you're saying, Counselor. Citizen period, anything?
The additions,
Oh, yes, sorry.
we'll add which one?
I didn't write, just go for it. You had it written down.
Under,
Financial impact?
financial impact first, just if we could, council's in agreement, if we get the information from the CAO on, the individual, the oppositions to the special service levy. There's 72 properties listed there, what the actual impact, positive or negative, on that particular property is.
Okay.
Yeah, on the property, not on the individual.
Yeah, on the property. That's basically it. There's no way to determine whether the properties are their actual residents or whether they're rentals.
Yes.
I understand there is some that are rentals, but they can defend those positions at the hearing. But for council perspective, we keep hearing what the costs are going to be to individuals. They can't afford it, so just for myself, I don't know if council's interested, I'd like to know what the actual costs are on those properties. We did it on their own properties that we own to see what it was going to be, so. Just be nice to have more information rather than less information when we're making a decision.
So we just need, so I guess we just put that on a follow-up list for us to bring to the next council meeting. Should be easy for Laura to generate that report of it.
I will send it to council.
Yeah.
So.
The other one is, it's gonna be first reading and we'll explain those as we go on. It's 12.1.2. I move by myself, second by Councilor Atkins, the result of the bylaw, or 666 being bylaw, town of Paul, amend down the zoning bylaw number 4599, be read a first time. If I may. What this is, we've talked about it now for 6 or 8 months, and our CDC's been working on it, and the intent is to rezone Devon Park. It's going to be rezoned from Devon Park from open space recreation zone to a commercial central zone. What that means is that the park will remain as park for those purposes in there. The intent, when we've talked about it, we've had numerous inquiries, as one, for instance, once has inquiries to the CDC that they would like to build a hotel along the riverbank there. There's a particular area of the park. Rather than just rezone that small portion, we thought, or I thought, let's rezone the whole thing, because we also have the Rotary Club has talked to us in the past, and as recently as yesterday or today, that they have a 100th anniversary coming up. They want to do something down at the riverbank. Trappers Festival has talked over the years about like to have something permanent done along the riverbank for the community. Chamber of Commerce in connection with that as well. So most communities that we have riverbank frontage within the community is highly developed. There can still be some green space down there if required, but if we only did a small portion of it, say for instance, Rotary Club put a facility in there, let your imagination decide what it can be, but if it's something that doesn't fit park, then we'd have to go through the whole process again. We look around the province, not that we're the Forks, but I know Chief Whitehead at one time called the Forks, the North Forks. The rivers meet here, the development in the Forks in Winnipeg, you've got hotels, you've got restaurants, you've got everything. the sky's the limit for what can happen down there. And at the end of the day, it will entice, people to come to the community, tourism, it'll increase the tax base. The process of how this would go is the first reading would be done tonight, pass it by come out. First reading would be done. No sooner than 40 days from today, notices would have to be sent out to, people affected. Basically, it'd be the community because it's a community area, that they could come to a hearing, would be, no sooner than 40 days, and come to a regular council meeting, which would be a hearing. And, after tonight's bylaw, after the first reading is passed, get ahead of myself, after the first, done, it's gone to the community planning office of the province. They review it, they set up a date for our next council meeting, no sooner than 40 days for second and third reading. If at that meeting, there's more than, if there's 100 or more individuals, community members that oppose it, much the same as a special service levy, threshold's a little higher. The last time this was done, it was 25 people. For the rezoning, it's 100 or 5% of the population. 100 people complain about it or oppose it, then we go back to the same as the special service levy. That would be a public hearing. They would come in and they would run it. And there's still a process if, for the community to, if it passed and we do brave on the second and third reading, then it's done. Then the CPC is aware of it and they can do formal discussion with anybody who wants to develop down. It also would open up the area for, long-term planning for developing the riverbank in, as other communities have, and make it, a big part of our community. We talked about a recreation area down the Wage and all that. We want to make that a hub. This could be another hub. The difference is this hub to generate tax dollars for our community. So I would support it, and I would hope Councilor Morris would support it as well, first reading, and start the process. And again, the reason for doing it tonight is just to move it up, because otherwise it would be nearly 2 months before we actually get to an actual hearing.
Oops, any questions from council? Again, to just get the process moving, so seeing no questions, I call the question. All in favor? Oppose? You're in favor? Yeah, sorry, didn't see it.
Thank you.
Carry. All right. Okay, and then we had one more assessment, financial, and we had 3 of them. What was the other?
Therefore, financial assessment.
You did the one on the community assessment.
Oh, okay. Assessment, financial impact, and okay, perfect. Okay. Your citizen, no citizens here. Well, you guys are citizens technically, but not here for citizens, right? But thanks for coming up. So we're moving into committee of the whole.
First off, that we now move ourselves into the committee of the whole with Mayor Murphy and the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
The agenda one, those been edited since, because you submitted Friday, but I worked on this. So,
Before you get started, Jomar, I'd just like to, again, thank you, Kelsey, the staff, Sam, Tanger, everybody that's worked so hard in the last little while, Bola, to sort of get us into the spot where these grants are. I don't think people really understand how big of an impact these type of projects have on communities, but also on the people that pay taxes in this community, because this is 50% money. This becomes legacy type projects that can really grow the community. And I also look at all the other opportunities that can be generated through there that will pay over and over and over again when you're given the ability to do things. So with this stuff, Councilor Hopper.
Just comment, we're here earlier, Joe Meyer, we're doing, recognizing, volunteers and, things we bring up, and just congratulate yourself on the weekend hockey. Sam on basketball, not this weekend, but, just, we talked about, how we encourage, other community organizations be involved. And we're proud of our staff and all of them who are involved in the community with the youth.
Kelsey,
Great job, Kelsey, you've done a great job, and there's probably others that were missing, but, thanks for that. I know it's out and about, you've got to use, flex time, holidays, not be away, and it's good use of your time, and we appreciate it, especially when we win.
I think we all enjoy it, so. The town's been good.
and the thing is, you know, Joe, and I think, you know, speaking with Bola, I think as a community highlight, when we have staff, I know you guys are sort of forefront, but we may have other people that are involved with the community. It would be great to create a spotlight, you know, whether through recreation, whether through the administration, on not just the sports part of it, but there's other cultural things that are taking place. And really sort of shine a light on the great people that we have in our
Just
community.
volunteers.
Yeah. Because, you know, positivity typically is contagious.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so to start off here, our Northern Regional Recreational Renewal Project is a bit of a mouthful, but I think part of the reason we selected the name too is that it's not just affecting our tri community, but it'll extend past that to the north, and not just the north, to be honest. Like, the ultimate goal of this hub is to attract from the south as well. And just taking the track part of it, for example, we may have the opportunity to host Manitoba Summer Games or even Canada Summer Games and stuff like that. So this is a big project that maybe can bring that into a reality. I'll use this. Okay, so the phases that involve, obviously the Goldie Gold Strand track. It'll go into more detail here, but this is just going to go through everything. Centennial Park, part of the hub, Boyce Johnson Arena, and then a feasibility study at the end to decide if it's worth it to maybe expand the Boyce Johnson past its extended life here. So moving on here to the track. Okay, so what it will involve is the rubberization of the track surface. It will include the discus and long jump. So we will work together with MBCI, particularly Jason Dunham. I've been in contact with him already, discussing what we want to do, colors in terms of MBCI colors, and then even including maybe a logo. Those are all things in talks that we want to maybe incorporate. And then also to make sure that where we locate the discus and the javelin part of the events. Right now they use Arena 1 for safety reasons. So we're talking about where we can possibly do that. Elsewhere, maybe on the soccer field, as long as there's safety measures in place to have that there. Landscape of the soccer field and the reinstall of the turf line project that we did in 2024 and 2025. There'll be an obvious restructure of the landscaping all around the area, just to make sure that irrigation and the water runoff is done properly. Addition of trees, bleachers, obviously, if you want to be able to host events. Picnic tables and benches to just promote families to gather and just get together around the area, also for our students. And then outdoor bathroom facilities, something that we've talked about for a long time. We want to include that, not in just that area, but also in the Centennial Park.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, and then the beach volleyball pit that's right near the track, we're looking at restoring that. It's been beaten up and they can use a facelift as well. Just an overview, and this is just a render, but what we've talked about, the ends not being fully covered by rubber, at least one of them, because we do utilize that for minor soccer. So this is just preliminary looks at what it could possibly look like, but you get the general idea of what it would be with the walking path there, and then some seating around it as well.
Jomar, is that field big enough to play football?
That I do not know. I think it might be if we do not use, if we like keep the grass on it.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if the curve cuts that off.
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% certain on that. But that's a good question. Moving on to Centennial Park. We've looked at additions again, like with the bathroom, adding picnic tables. We've talked about a pavilion space type amphitheater. We're looking at calling it a pavilion, but also adding elements like calisthenic and outdoor gym, and then the new park area. Okay, so the new park area will include stuff like a rubberized base, so that's important for safety for us. We've been wanting to do that. And then it kind of ties in with the track, but it eliminates the sand. And then it just gives us a better overall look at the area, and then adding the accessibility with the paths. And then there's also going to be accessible structures that will be available for other kids that need that. Again, like I said, we want to do the addition of the bathrooms, but also a change room since the spray park is there. And then speaking of the spray park, we're looking at expanding that as well and adding additional structures to it. We've spoken to a few different outfits and they've mentioned that addition of structures or even expansion of the pad is a lot easier than the structure's already in place. So cost savings would be, I should say cost savings, but the cost won't be as significant as it would be as if you're starting from scratch. As I mentioned, accessible elements will be there for the play structure, and it'll range from ages 3 to 5, and also it'll hit 5 to 12, so it covers most areas for our kids. And then looking at different renders for the pavilion, this is more of a raised stage kind of deal with wood. Probably a little bit more maintenance going that direction. Then if we look at our left render 2, it's, I would say, steel. Yeah, steel structure.
I like that one.
Yeah, less maintenance, doesn't have a raised stage per se, but also it could be something that we look at doing. Those elements haven't been decided on fully yet, and we'll probably talk to the contractor that we end up choosing to do the turnkey for the whole project. That'll be something we talk about with them and get input from. So
we would have power and stuff there at that?
Yes, so that's one of the elements we talked about. We actually met yesterday, so you'll see at the end with our timeline.
Oh, okay.
Our first meeting as a project team, we met yesterday, so I'll get into that later. So just with our arena upgrades, some of the things, so obviously the flooring we want to redo completely. So we don't want to just do the lobby, we want to extend it right through into the dressing rooms, have it all done. There's lots of stuff coming up from even the last flooring project, so one of the things that we did decide that we want to go with is a tile type instead of a rollout. That way, if there is an issue with a piece of flooring, you're able to take that tile out and replace it without having too much damage to it. And then moving on, we're also looking at redoing if it's possible, we don't know what kind of structural elements is for that wall, but if we could extend the viewing height in the lobby to at least the bulkhead, and then raise the platform level with the boards, the viewing from there will be easier, especially for accessibility, but also there could be a second level of people sitting and looking over top. It's kind of what the new thing is in other rural communities with that type of viewing. It's kind of a theater style seating, but it's always level with the board so that you could see down into the play.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do it, so long as it's not completely load bearing, or if we can make sure that there's a lot of viewing from that area still. So in theory, that's what we'd like to do. Whether it's possible, we're not sure yet. And then we've talked about this several times, and with the junior team there, the glass, obviously they need higher glass. We have youth hockey there, some U15, some U18. It would benefit a little bit. Mostly it's going to benefit the Blizzard. I think it'll benefit everyone in terms of viewing. Once the glass is that high, you won't really need the nets anymore. It'll actually be as high as the nets. There is a gap at the top there with the nets that the puck can go through, and that's exactly pretty much where glass would end. So in terms of viewing, it'll be a lot better viewing experience, and then obviously for functionality for games and stuff, it'll be a lot nicer, even for photographers and stuff. So just a kind of preliminary project outline. So we've already researched some general contractors to carry out the entire project. Obviously we want, and talking with Sam and Tanvir and Kelsey, we kind of want a turnkey kind of company that can take it all and we
Absolutely.
give the input and they check in with us and we have reports and make sure that they're following what we want to do. But we want someone to be able to carry out the entire project in terms of the park only. So I'm just speaking on the part of the park. So we did have our first meeting yesterday as a team, just to go over some components we want to include and things that I went over today, the rubberized track, the base for the structures in Centennial Park, the expansion and addition of the spray park structures, bathroom facilities, the pavilion, and the landscaping. Those are some main features we really want to see in the project.
How long has the track been talked about?
Oh, it was before my time actually, because I believe there's a fund there that's.
Yeah, no, I'm just sort of.
Yeah,
I think it's.
I've been here 13 years,
But the-
I think it's
so I wanna say
one-
13.
It's been since mid-90s.
Yeah,
There you go.
Really,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the front radar
Yeah,
for 35 years.
no,
It-
well, it's back in the forties.
People didn't even run.
Yeah.
I think it will be pretty neat for it to be, if that becomes the reality in this summer, for myself, just to, cause I knew it was kind of getting some headway when I first got here. And there was funds in there, so if we could finish that, and close that chapter off, then I think, like, just for the community and then just some gratification on our end,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
No, this is exciting stuff and again, just completely adds value
Yeah.
to our community. And you know, when we're talking about attracting people, I get it, we need houses and all that sort of stuff, but we also need good facilities.
Yeah. I think it brings people in.
Yeah. So have you guys, just as a, I'm sure you have thought, but I'm just more or less saying this for the viewing public. Like things like pickleball, cricket, have you guys thought about those things as
Well,
well?
the pickleball is actually, that's part of the core project.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are things we've included, just with the evolving part of that game, it's very popular. We have it 3 to 4 times a week in the wellness center. A lot of people are getting involved, young to old. It used to be just an older group. But it's evolved into a younger group now too, combined. So you're seeing youth and older adults playing in that. We just had a tournament that one of our staff put on as a fundraiser, so people are definitely interested in the sport, in that particular sport, so we've tried to make that something that we make a priority in our plans moving forward.
No, that's great.
Yeah, we're trying to use like, make sure that all the, any dead space, quote unquote, is kind of sort of examined for sort of features and possibilities. We talked about a little bit about like block bowling and volleyball.
Yeah, it's
And,
great.
you know, so like, but something like, you know, like the pavilion, you know, maybe you could rent the pavilion and you just have to paint the lines, you know, in front of it.
Maybe the inside of the track is not grass, but actually turf.
That would be neat, it definitely would.
Then you would have no maintenance costs.
But then we can't use our turf line.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you-
Turf line could be.
It could be the replacement for the lawn market.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more work to install it that way, that's for sure, just to say that we use the turf.
But I don't, you know, all joking aside, I don't think that's something that, you know, I don't even know what the cost of something like that is, but.
Yeah, and I haven't gone that
I'm
far.
assuming it's much.
I'm trying not to bite off too much.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's not a bad idea.
As part of your preliminary project, I'm gonna make a suggestion.
Yeah, go for it.
That Bola approve a road trip to the Little Red River Park, just
Yeah.
outside of PA. It's a $2 million park that they developed. It's an
Yeah.
amazing space. It might give you some ideas, it might
Yeah.
say this is
Yeah.
bad, this is good. It might be worth the research instead of just looking at things on a computer or somebody telling you what to do. Go and see it, feel it, touch it, and
Sure.
Danger.
This is
Yeah.
a big investment.
You have to solve it for those.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us too.
If it could be after the hot, then it'd be better for me.
It's
I
asking
travel
me
so
that
much
with
already.
I like the fact too that you coordinated with MBCI and that you're going to
Yeah,
possibly incorporate the colors.
Yeah, it's,
Great.
I mean, blue is a great color for track anyways too, but definitely incorporating their logo in the gold.
yeah, that's,
I wanna incorporate white too, cause I know you want blue gold, but then I was thinking like, there is white in their logo too, so it'd
Yeah.
be a better contrast to have all three.
Your rendition looked really sharp.
Yeah, so, like even to just make the numbers white, at least the
Yeah.
lines colder, vice versa, something like that.
yeah, no,
But
for sure.
I'll talk with Jason about that, and like I said, we were just on the phone yesterday when we were in the meeting.
So Jomar, I know, you know, I might be jumping ahead, but Are you guys planning on engaging maybe like even our youth counselor, getting some?
Actually, before we came in here, I was about to ask Sam if I hadn't seen a youth counselor this year yet, so then now I see there is one, so.
Because I mean, I think she could bring a lot of good feedback even from youth on maybe
100%.
something that we need there.
Yeah, so what we'll do maybe is we'll get your contact info and involve you in some of our meetings when we're talking about the track.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll meet again on February, so next week, we want to be able to develop an RFP and a tender for the flooring in the arena. Pretty simple project, but we want to get that started
Yeah.
and make sure that it's off and running. Our goal is to get as much done as we can, this summer. And with I feel like with the priority being the parks part of it. But if we can get stuff done in the arena in a timely fashion, we'd like to get that started.
No, absolutely.
With it.
And you'll probably wanna do it earlier than, or you'll have a certain period, because I'm sure the trade show is gonna be looking for the arena. with
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Trade shows.
But even if we can get the tender out and make sure
Yeah,
that we've selected someone in time, and then we can make a plan for the summer when we'll be close to get that installed.
and I'm pretty sure that Connor Dewar's probably gonna put on his hockey camp again.
Yeah, I would imagine that's something like, we'll obviously be involved in that again
Yeah.
to help out, and we'd like, I think the goal would be is if we're gonna get it done, to have that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
done before that,
yeah.
at least that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So part of the flooring project, you mentioned about moving further into the glass higher up, that would be done as part of it.
That's part of, so the flooring, I think what we talked about as a team is that it'll be a separate tender versus the renovations of the bathrooms and the addition of the viewing lounge part. So I think the bathrooms and the viewing lounge will be a separate thing, but
I'm
that
just
was
wondering for construction wise, would it be done better
to do it at the same time.
at the same time or do the front?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. It's like, do you do the flooring underneath the actual structure and then, you know what I mean?
I think what's gonna really depend on the contractor you select
Yeah.
and what work you can get done to coordinate that, so you're gonna have to look at that as the big project, right?
Yeah.
And see where it goes.
And we have to wait for some costing back on the parks that we can share
Yeah.
with everybody to say, this is this much money, this is our total pot to, spend, and how can we allocate resources to that.
If we do have to revisit, like, well, we might have to take something away or.
Yeah.
But.
You know, I think the important thing to do is, obviously get some traction on getting things going as
Yeah.
quickly as possible. But also, I know as Councilor Manish brought it up as well. I think that idea of Trappers Festival and getting some community input on sort of not just not just the recreation part, but the whole thing with theater and providing that opportunity is going to be important.
Just in your plan there, you mentioned that you don't have enough money, but rather than take something away, I would sooner
Dream.
we can venture for.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to take a small venture out to do what the vision is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more apt to do that. I just,
Not gonna get any cheaper.
And,
Yeah.
and definitely take that flooring into consideration, because like some people may not have flooring underneath their fridge, but if they have to buy a new fridge and you can't get the same size,
you
and then you can't get
wanna
that.
do it throughout, I
Yeah,
think. is
can't
the
get
idea.
that same
Yeah.
type of flooring later on, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, my fridge will never break down.
Just
that's it.
so you have to.
It's broken.
Yeah.
So it's already.
So yeah, we look to meet again on Monday, just to discuss those initial bathroom renovations. And then the following week to just get that in order. The following week after that, we wanna have the RFP and the tender for those things going and then start talking about the tender for the seamless glass. In March, we wanted to kind of just source out the feasibility study and get that going and have that prepared so that it's up and running, and then decide how we're gonna go about that. It's probably the last thing on our priority, but it is something that like I said, we wanna get as much done as we can in a shorter amount of time, but we also wanna do it right, so. I think if we have a plan we can try to stick to, that'll keep us on track.
Well, we think it's, the community has paid for the debentures on the wellness center and the arena, last month.
Yeah.
And now it's 20 years later, we're actually doing some reinvestment in a building that. So it's really, it's timely, right?
coming full circle.
No, this is great, Jomer. I'm super excited.
Comment, some people, when they get in positions, they look forward to a paycheck every 2 weeks. They don't look beyond that. Your vision, staff's vision on all aspects, whether it's fire department, recreation, salmon, mining, equipment and stuff, is very positive. And, like the parks, they've come a long ways from the sandbox and the slide and the swing.
Yeah.
And, recreation is just one aspect of it, but, I'm glad to see that we have staff that are looking to make things better rather than just ride along for the ride. So it makes council looks good, it makes the town look good. So kudos to all of you for coming up with this. And we'll support you as much as we can.
Agreed, we've definitely leveled up on this one.
I think, yeah, it says a lot about the team that we have that helps out, and it's not just me or it's not just Kelsey, it's like all of us that have put a lot of work into it.
You can see it.
And then obviously we care a lot about it, so it's not just a job, we wanna do it really well, there's a bit of passion behind that too, so. And we see how much it affects everyone else, not just the groups that we work with, volunteer with, it's more than that, so.
So keep the pressure on council to keep the ball moving. Don't let us be a roadblock. Get it in front of us for decisions. We have to meet outside of regular council meetings, we will meet. We do not want to slow things down and make things be a barrier.
That will be part of the minutes, keep the pressure on council.
Yeah,
Just one other thing on the track itself, maybe not the track itself, but other areas where you're pouring down, whether it's in the rink or on the track. There's probably opportunity there for people to make advertising.
We've talked about that too, so with the tiling part of it, I do know so if you take example for the GLMC, if you look in their floors, they have logos of their local hockey teams, so the Blizzard when they were there, the Storm, I believe, and then Blues. Those are the logos that they had there, so there's opportunity for that, and then obviously advertising too, so.
In the track area as well.
Yes, yeah, for sure, so definitely ways to get revenue, and as long as we have enough lead time to kind of get that together, especially for the track, that track would be a one-off thing.
yeah, but I
in
mean,
my, yeah.
there's options with that too, though. It doesn't have to be built right into the track. You can buy those triangles.
Yeah,
And stuff like that and have it stored on the inside and outside, like.
There's lighting as well. On the track, that's part of the plan.
we've talked about that, I believe we have it set up, like when we did the lighting for the path, like the walking path and the stadium lighting. We set it up so that we could tie into that, so that if we needed to do it elsewhere, like the track, we can.
Roll out lighting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, if there is room for that, we will 100% add that.
Because we have new lighting coming for the pickleball tennis and the security camera.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options there that we can do, so we've kind of set it up so that we can lead into this project that we didn't know was coming, so. We didn't know that we would maybe potentially want lighting in there other areas, so we can still build off what we did there with that original grant for the lighting. Yeah.
So one last thing, has anybody got anything else? Sorry. Just to kind of wrap things up. Thanks again, Jomar, for what you guys did. One of the things I would say is Minister Samar is probably going to be here in the next few weeks. I don't know exactly the date, but he's going to be coming through. I think this would be a great opportunity for you and Sam and Tanvir and Kelsey. So, for you guys to showcase some of the things that you're doing with the grants that we got. And, and then you have an opportunity to thank, this government for believing in what's needed here in the pond.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
So next week we'll see a resolution to do all this stuff.
Was that?
Next week, a resolution to do all that stuff.
You,
Okay.
Go ahead.
you.
No,
Don't make eye contact. Turn and go, turn and go. Okay, paving. Samuel.
Yeah, so we just wanted a little bit of clarification. There's been think there was a couple of discussions that, unfortunately I wasn't able to be here for paving. Just wanted to get some clarification on our plan for 2026, just because we have to start preparing our tenders to go out, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, just as my issue sheet stated, that we talked about a 5-year plan, the benefits of maybe putting some of our capital paving into 1 year savings that would realize allowing our gas tax to replenish. So in 2026, we requested some patching. So the regular amount of patching we do on a year-to-year basis ranges between 200,000 to 300,000, depending on the repairs we have to do in the road. And then obviously we talked about the patching improvements for Bagshaw, Reeder, Traeger, Lamb. So there's a total of just a little over $1 million in request for 2026. So I was just sort of wondering if that is still the direction of council to move in that way.
Well, I think what we were talking about is, and please, correct me if I'm wrong, council, is that, you know, we want to use the taxpayers' money as best we can and get the most that we can, and if there's an opportunity to save, such as bringing projects together and sort of deferring things to save money, I think that's our direction. Based on that, you know, my understanding is we were gonna have some patching, and I didn't know what it was, but some patching in 2026 of the bad areas. And then you were gonna present, you and Tanvir were gonna present sort of the large project paved for 2027 within the next, you know, couple of weeks when we do our plan.
March 2nd.
Yeah, and then that way, then council can start planning on, you guys can start planning on 2027's paving project right now. But we obviously have to do some patching. And, you know, if there's a way of helping some of those troubled areas like Bagshaw and Reeder, if there's some temporary work that we can fix them up so to get them to the next phase. I think that's what we were looking at. That's what I understood anyways.
Yeah, for sure. If there's something else you have to put in, like you're saying, the cost of around $1 million ballpark for this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree, we need to do projects together, and it's not, we can't do it this year. Maybe you can't even do that next year. Maybe 2027 is gonna be a year that there's no paving, it's all gonna happen in 28 and nothing in 29. But this year, I think that we need to do what you outlined there for sure, and keep going with that. And if it's gonna be a wee bit more, then that's what it is.
But I think that's the confusion part though, Counselor, is that I believe we talked about avoiding that $300,000 mobilization in 2026. Do some basic patching in 2026, and do the large project in 2027.
But to finish what you've got on your issue sheet there, is that bringing a company in for that? So there is mobilization cost to that, is it?
That we baked that into that cake already. So the mobilization, since we're not doing a shape and pave, so mobilization for shape and pave would be significantly higher than versus just bringing the paving equipment and setting up. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not setting up.
And also if we start thinking about this now, we can maybe, let's say, find a company maybe closer to our area, or because we're already gonna be bidding on projects for highways, we kind of, you know, pick their brain to see what they have.
The big thing is if we don't avoid that $300,000 mobilization cost, then there's no use of doing the plan. You might as well now push it to 2028, and because you gotta save that mobilization once.
Yeah.
And then because we've recognized it now, it's based on our best interest now is to do what you was laid out by yourself and Lauren Tanvir, is that we need to do some patching. We have some follow-up warranty work that has to be done. The pickleball work has to be done. The wellness center parking lot has to be fixed properly. Do whatever, budget for whatever we need, but then I think also what council needs to see is what the plan is for 2027. And the reason why we need to see it, because the community members need to see it, so we don't want them to think that we're just avoiding not spending the money. We're based it on doing the major plan, and the major work will be done in 2027.
Yeah,
Agreed.
And I think that's what we were talking about. So you, cool with that?
that's great. No, we're.
Anybody, you're good? You good?
We're very excited to get those projects done, and obviously the tennis, basketball, pickleball is gonna be
Yeah,
super.
it's gonna be, can't wait.
You play cricket too?
I would try to play cricket. long as you only have to throw the ball.
I'm pitching.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm gonna do.
I already called it, I know how hard that ball is, and I'm not good at throwing.
Yeah, me either. Okay,
Excellent.
no, thanks for that, Sam, and we
Thank
look.
you guys for the time, yeah, appreciate that. We'll have a plan for the March, second meeting.
Hey, Bola, you wanna go through this tax engagement service thing?
No, there's a tax sales before tax agreements.
Yeah.
So for taxes, I just want to confirm the date. They suggested November 12.
Sounds good.
I know, October.
So far ahead, it's so November 11th is Remembrance Day, November 12th is fine if that works. I think that you're gonna have to.
Yes, I just need the resolution for that, so I'll bring the resolution next week. So for our tax service agreements, we have to do new agreements, and this will be 3 years.
Yeah.
So I just want council to allow me to sign this agreement.
Yep. Good.
Then I have, 14.3.3, I,
Just a second, that tax service agreement,
this,
that doesn't interest me at all.
What do you mean?
Oh, no, I just lost it.
is 14.3.2.
It's just, we do this every year, this is an annual thing.
Yes, but this one.
Okay, we need to renew the.
Yes,
No,
they want
this
to,
is
yeah, they want to-
No, that's something completely different, is it not? I just like closed down now. Can't open my page now.
No, I think Bola's just sharing with us the.
I just read in their notes,
Yeah,
and there's a difference of, I think, $20 in their cost, so they explain everything.
so we need a resolution, extend them for 3 years and appoint the date of November 12th as the tax.
I
sale.
bring that up, I bring it, yep, okay.
I mean, tax sales are not even mandatory for council to
No,
show
but
up.
The tax sale is different from the tax service agreement. I thought the BOLA went on to 14.3.2.
No,
No?
I finished the tax sales, then I
Oh.
moved straight to 40.
Oh, sorry, okay, I thought that.
I just jumped.
Yeah, I mean, I kicked that down too.
I can wait for mayor to.
Okay, so 14.3.3.
Yes, this is, last, in 2025, I brought a resolution for, senior election officer. Yeah, this year is our election year, so there is need for assistant. I'll be the assistant to the senior election officer. So I just put the resolution together, just to formalize everything. So, and I'll bring the resolution for this next time.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
The only question I have, it'd be nice to know anticipated costs, since it happens every 4 years, we should know rather than just being $50 an hour.
Yep.
It should be more of a, it's gonna be $7,500.
Yeah, we can put that in the resolution, we'll
Yeah.
put it out.
I mean, we know it could change a little bit unforeseen, but it'd be nice to know what is the actual cost, rather than just saying, we're gonna pay someone $50 an hour. And
I think in our, the budget that, Laura presented, I think the election's $5,000
Yeah.
total.
so whatever it is, just so we have a dollar value attached, so all of a sudden we don't get it's an extra $2,000 because
Yeah.
there was more time invested. We just want to know that we're sticking to something.
So when you bring the resolution, Bola, if you can just say,
Estimate.
appoint and estimate it up to this dollar value,
Okay.
whatever you think it'll be. Okay, Command Unit 1, these vehicles never seem to stop.
This is updating.
Resolution, wait.
Presenting, or are we just gonna ask questions?
No, go ahead.
Okay, no, I didn't know if she was gonna say something or not. So, of course, I have no issue with outfitting the vehicle as we need. The only issue I see is it's constantly, again, that handout. We saw in the spreadsheet at our special budget meeting that the fire department was $100,000 over budget, and yet their fire department budget has doubled in 3 years. If things are gonna cost an extra nearly $8,000 to get this done, I'd like to know where that $8,000 is coming from, rather than just reserves. To say, well, we'll just go to the piggy bank. I'm sorry, when I have a grocery budget, I don't just say, well, I'll just pull it out of somewhere else. It'd be nice to know that something else is going to go without, rather than just constantly asking for a handout.
Yeah, just a clarification though, the fire department budget is not over budget. Actually, they generated revenue.
Well, they
based
generated,
on
but
the
then it was
EMO.
distributed to reserves, but the spreadsheets that.
Yeah, I know, well, I mean, it's still generated, they're over budget based on the fact that.
Yes, they brought it because of the wildfire season, but that money was then put into reserves. It's not like, well, we made $100,000, so now we have an extra $100,000 to spend. That's not how we organize things.
No, yeah, I mean, I understand, but
Because
it's,
the ones that we got back from finance that was due to training and wages. So all I'm saying, and I'm not making
Yeah.
it say, well, we're broke.
Yeah.
It's just, there's never accountability to overages. It's always like, well, let's just tap into our reserves.
No, I agree.
So again, I have no issue at all outfitting the vehicle as they see fit. I do question though, when it's just saying, well, we'll just tap into reserves. No, you need to budget better. Maybe you need to buy different equipment.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to build it over time.
No,
is what I'm suggesting.
I completely agree with you. I believe all variances should be explained, so either positive or negative, so don't disagree with that. So I guess what we're saying, Bola, is we agree, but we also, I guess we're cautioning all department heads that when, you have variances that they would like to get clear understandings of them.
Yeah, so again, all I'd like to see is where is that money gonna come from, the $7,000 to actually cover it of something else that's gonna have to be left out. Or a variation, because again, it seems like, well, I didn't plan very well, so I need an extra $7,000.
I would believe it would come from the reserve.
And that-
Well, I know that's what it says it does, but I wanna stop that happening. It's always, well, we'll just go to the piggy bank. No,
Yes,
if I go to a grocery store and I want the T-bone instead of the round steak, I have to decide what can I afford? And we just seem to keep asking for a handout.
so there'll be proper planning.
It would like to see where that $7,000 coming from, because I don't think it should just come from the reserves. It should come from
I guess that's
someone's
why-
not buying something else.
Where else can it come from, they say?
Where else? That's it. I asked him and when myself, then I talked to him, that was when I asked him, go and include where it's coming from, and that was how the reserve was included because it was left, the reserve fund 2025. However, how else can we get this money instead of coming from reserve? That's a good question. I will take care of that.
Yeah, it's just that he asked for $85,000.
Yes,
Now he's asking for an additional 7,000, so that takes us to $92,000, right? So that means either something has to plan another way to find that money. Instead of just saying, well, just give me more money out of the reserves.
Find it within the budget.
Yeah, like there's other things that, again, the fire department budget has doubled in 3 years.
and what I want us to know is, whenever we are planning to buy something, we should expect some variances, especially with the situation of economy now. I do understand that there is a need for proper planning.
But you're almost 10% out,
This is not something was expected though. I talked to him, he didn't expect this.
but it's expected because he's now picked the items that he wants to upfit the truck with. So now maybe he needs to pull something else off of the Suburban or find another way of doing things to make up a shortfall. Because again, just saying to the taxpayer, we just take it out of our piggy bank all the time, isn't a good way to do business as managing.
We will continue to improve our process. Thank you.
Could we, could we get from Laura an actual financial analysis of the fire department spend over the last 4 years or 5 years or whatever? And just so, I think we need high level sort of accounts to see where the spending or where the increase is. So that we have a better understanding, is it labor, is it material? And I think it's important for us to understand if there's any discretionary accounts, as Councilor Manage is mentioning, we should see what those accounts are, just as I'm looking for all the details, but right now is a high level look.
I'm going to, Laura, if it is possible to have it on February.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great when he's here, that'd be good for
But
us to
the next
understand.
budget meeting is February.
Yeah. Okay, so are we approving them to move forward with it, or we're approving only if they come up with something?
I think we should see a presentation on.
Okay, so we'll hold off on it.
Yeah, just
we'll
like I said, it'd be simply him coming and saying, well, hey, we don't need this, we don't need that, because again, the department has doubled its budget in 3 years, so. There should be money, service hasn't changed that much.
Okay, so that's, we'll wait till hear back from them on that. Procurement policy, everybody have a chance to read that big document?
Yeah, I think the only thing that we should add, for sure, there might be other things, but we mentioned ethical. We mentioned green, but we never mentioned our initiative of trying to buy Canadian as much as possible. And maybe we could just put that in there just as extra language, so we don't have to have another separate policy with it. We could tie that policy we wrote into the procurement.
Have you had a chance to look at that, Councillor Forster? Okay, so. Yeah, one of the things I suggested to Laura, because this is a big document, that maybe this should go to the QIC meeting first. And walk through it so that we can identify. I know, there's areas in here that I have some concerns around on this delegation of authority. And the sign off and how things get approved. I also see that I did mention to Laura before as well, there is some errors in. You know, some say 50,000, some say 45,000. So I think we have a good understanding. I do agree with the Councillor Manic said, is that let's make sure if we did bring it up in council, if there's a way of doing it without legally putting ourselves into a pickle that, you know, we do try to shop local and we do try to shop within the province of our country, yeah.
Yep.
So if that's okay, we'll just move that to QIC until we bring it back. So Laura needs to get approval to move ahead with the IT points. I think we've all experienced it again tonight. Any issues with that?
Yeah, I think we should expand it.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think we should somehow include the owl has been a great upgrade, but we can definitely do better. Like when we watch this on YouTube, the sound is still not great. If there's some way that this company, it's integration, right? Maybe they have some suggestions or some ways to enhance what we're offering our public. No, people aren't here. Let's give them the best viewing possible.
I completely agree.
So we can, resolution. Right?
Yeah. And then, you know, like, we're not limited, like, I think that this room is still a tough room to get good communication out. I also would like to see, and I was gonna bring an issue sheet in the future anyways, but I would also like to see us creating hotspots in our community facilities, the main ones anyways, the arena, to allow free Wi-Fi in there, especially for the youth. But that's another story. Devon Park, we've already talked about that. I don't think there's anything more we need to talk about that. Everybody's good with that? So we'll get the ball rolling anyways. Community safety updates. So as I was sort of thinking over the weekend, you know, one of the things that we're always talking about community safety, and if we reflect back on our community safety summit that we have, yeah, I thought that maybe it would be a good idea for us to sort of create a special meeting where we have a community safety well-being communication meeting. And so, you know, it doesn't have to be every month, but maybe every couple of months. We get specific reports from our CSOs, public safety bylaws, maybe have our RCMP come in. Our community safety well-being coordinator can give an update specifically on whether they're moving that forward and any barriers that are there. And then our fire department could come. We could also have other standing items, like, I don't know, if we wanted the NRHA to come in. You know, we want to maybe have other government engagements, like whoever happens to be CMHA, like Friendship Center, whoever it happens to be, like maybe they can come in and from time to time and give a presentation. And my whole point of thought is this, is that it does create a sort of a forward-looking community update that provide the community members with regular updates on what are going on. So again, builds into our transparency. I think it's easy. It actually keeps, it should be easy for staff, shouldn't be a lot of work, because this is just telling people what they're doing. And that sort of goes into what we said we were gonna do anyways from our community safety summit. So I didn't want to lose track of it. No need to do anything today. I mean, we can, it's just for information, we can put it on our follow-up list and give you some time to think about it.
So
Or maybe
I
add-
should add it to unfinished business.
Yeah.
So that's I'll keep on.
Everybody okay? Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, so. Don't see anything, oh, sorry, yes, so community safety wellbeing, job, yeah, let's do it.
So yes, this is a job description. So there will be agenda that will be coming out tomorrow for our budgets, capital projects presentation. So I have added kind of expenditure, whatever we're going to spend on it. So I'll be presenting the costs, the benefits, and if we don't do it, the risk. So I'll be presenting, but this is just a job description.
We have to do.
It's live, we can still add to it if council sees something that needs adjustment or if let me know, but for now, this is what we can come up with in terms of the skills, qualification, requirements, experience. In terms of cost, I will be sharing that with council. Where we get money from, how much this might cost the taxpayer for now.
Keep in mind, we have a $60,000 from,
So.
And that's just one time,
yeah,
right?
It's,
well, that's what they say now, but
that's one time.
it was supposed to be end last year.
I want to inform council also that we already applied for another grant. Almost 120,000 to support this. Sure. So, yes, that'll be great.
Okay, any questions? So can we move, what are you looking for us?
I would like to post this job because this is a kind of position that I think I need to post on time. The process of getting the application, getting the interview is not going to be like 1 or 2, 3 weeks. So if council should give me the approval to post this while we are doing other.
You guys okay
That's
with
what
going
I'm
forward,
asking
post it?
council.
Sure.
Should I post?
So, yeah.
Okay, thank
When
you.
we're posting it, are we posting the range as well?
The salary range.
Yeah. Is that being posted as well?
No.
Whatever your guys' process is for.
Okay.
Okay, anything else before we get into in camera? We'll
I guess the only thing that I felt was a little bit left out, again, didn't know where it would fit in. There has been a couple of QIC meetings. There would have been nice to have updates as, again, policy says that a council will update on those. So either we should decide on they'll be issued at the next available meeting, or they're gonna be issued at the end of each month, whatever. But it'd be nice to hear the reports from the QIC, so those can be discussed and everyone's aware of them.
I guess we have to determine what council is gonna actually update it. Because I guess there's multiple counselors at those meetings and who's selected to
Yeah,
update it.
I mean, within the QIC, they should be able to,
And the other thing I think we may have to do, just to keep things above board, we may have to schedule these meetings in advance. With the public, based on just the municipal rules. I'm not too worried about it, but we could get called out.
Yeah, the extent of what's will shape for now, because we are not at the decision stage. It's just we just have to remember that the essence of this QIC is, and it's what I told the managers, all the council members, they have different expertise. We want to get like ideas, how we should do things, what we should add to it, get from your experience. That is the essence. It's not because we are taking any decision. I'm not against giving reports, but we have to know what kind of reports the manager needs to prepare for council.
yeah, to me, the QIC is strictly the manager coming and saying, this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. We have an opportunity to add input where necessary, but at the end of the day, it's their meeting. And the other reports that come, I think we've discussed those enough that what we kind of got to, we're fine. But the QIC meetings, again, that's a manager's meeting for an opportunity to speak candidly instead of feeling like they're on a hot seat in a sense. It's just a candid opportunity, but one counselor, according to the bylaw, should be reporting on those QIC meetings to make sure all the other counselors are aware what's happening. Because that was why I brought it up last January, was we didn't know what was going on in QIC meetings because they seemed like closed doors meetings and not all the information being shared. So I was just hoping that it'd be as transparent as possible, so we get a report. That's all. Has nothing to do with anything you need to do. It's what the managers
Yes, I will talk to managers, but at the same time, I would like council to understand that the management are trying, and would you consider the level of reports of every 2
It's not
weeks?
their report though, it's the councilor's report.
What the minutes, just need the minutes.
It's just so, like, if I was going to the maintenance one, for example, and the mayor said, Randy, I wanna hear what you had to say, but your I should be able to regurgitate kind of what went on and a little bit of report, no different than we do for a Chamber of Commerce or a CDC. It's just a report on what we experienced, so everyone's understands or has questions.
Do we have that?
Yeah, I think we need more
So yeah, it's not up to you or managers to do anything different, it's up to the councilors to take their notes and then report and say, yeah, I went to a QIC and this is what we did. That's all.
Councilor Man, or Councilor Hopper.
The QAC meetings should only be 3 councillors. No alternates, should be 3 councillors. If you're having 4, then you're gonna have to advertise, then it's a public meeting. Managers have a meeting, 3 councillors are there to listen, give a little bit of feedback. One of them can be designated to come back and do the committee report. The QAC meeting on recreation, here's what to discuss, done. But I would say there should only be 3 there, there shouldn't be alternates or 3 people, you don't need 3 people and then 2 others or 4 others or whatever. I just need 3 there.
Then you need to rewrite the bylaw.
And if you can make it, you make it, and again, it's an informal setting. It's for them to kind of get a little bit of feedback from 3 council members, that they don't speak on behalf of council, it's just feedback, it's informal, non-threatening, it's just discussions, and the individuals that are there can give their comments and stuff and bring back to council and a report, informal, and it's not bearing on anybody.
Okay, so we still got some work to do on that. Anything else? Everybody's good? Okay, I guess we're moving into in camera.
Resolve that we do now, but subsequently in camera portion of committee as a whole with the RSP and the
About, like getting in contact with Jomar.
Yeah, I keep, Boland's gonna give you the number, and
Okay,
he'll reach out to you.
I've already put this on my list.
okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Meeting afternoon on Friday.
Future, Very
Okay, like this Friday?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're having a council meeting on Friday.
Resolve that we do
Like,
now move ourselves into the in-camera portion of the committee as a whole with Mayor Murphy and the chair to discuss matters requiring our.
So thank you, everybody out there, did we leave already? If we
No,
didn't,
we're still.
yeah, so thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. We have a couple items that, there will be no real decisions coming out of, or no resolutions coming out of the in-camera session. We do have a reminder for anybody, we do have another meeting on Friday at noon, talk about harm reduction, so if you're interested in learning and hearing from, those group, please join us.
Just on that.